Kiki Benny.
Acting really weird this morning, bro. Like, and even right now, none of my social media apps are working. Like on my phone, my my Messenger isn't working. Matter of fact, my Facebook won't even load at all on my phone. And then, so I got in here and fucking everything was acting all funny, and it was taking a while for me to even start the stream. So I was like, all right, this is gonna be one of them connection days. Have them fucking connection issues. So I just wait a minute here. I just went and restarted the modem. Yo, Zipper. What's good, bro? Not really sure if this is a great angle right yet. Let's see. I'm actually working on his face, but I saw this little bit of foliage right behind him that I neglected to put in. So let me kind of fill in this foliage before I start working on his face too much, just to get that started so I know where my lines are at. Alright, a little something like this. I really should have used a knife just now, but I don't know what. Matter of fact, this brush isn't working. I gotta grab a knife. Alright, let's see. Alright, a little something like that. Yo, good morning, everybody. On this beautiful Saturday. So, alright, damn. This camera isn't as straight as I would like it to be. You can't help how straight your camera is, Dad. Oh, my bad. I don't know where that joke came from, but I don't know if it hit right or not. Alright, if I do it like this, and then just drop it a little bit, like so. She might be something. It might not be a bad angle. I was actually listening to a beat my homie sent me just now. My man be making some good music. You know, the music be pretty good. Oh man, I'm coming, guys. Wake and bake. Alright, that beat was pretty tough, man. Like I said, my homie got the fire.
ChatGPT is undoubtedly the biggest technological breakthrough we've made in the last decade. Ever since OpenAI launched the chatbot back in November last year, the world has never been the same. The AI became a huge hit, crossing over 1 million users in just 5 days. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. A few months ago, OpenAI announced that they were working on GPT-5, a more advanced version of ChatGPT that will be more powerful than anything on the planet. Of course, this news made headlines in no time, and many tech leaders have come out to share their opinions concerning the AI model, with some...
You know what? I might try to invite, I might try to get a few people to come from Instagram. Let me see if I can pull some more people in just to check out this part, because this is gonna be a pretty interesting part, working on trying to detail the face, you know. I'm not sure if people who do watch the stream occasionally would catch a part like this, so let's see. Alright, I got Instagram live running. I don't know if that's like the best place for the camera right now. Let's try to set it here for a second. Now,
saying that GPT-5 will doom us all. Today, we'll be looking at GPT-5 and how it will impact the AI landscape. So keep watching till the end. But before we begin, welcome to the AI Trend, your go-to destination for all things AI. We are dedicated to bringing you the latest developments, breakthroughs, and releases in artificial intelligence technology. So subscribe to stay updated on how AI is reshaping our world. Without further ado, let's get started. You've probably used ChatGPT a few times before, and even if you haven't, you already know that the chatbot is the latest piece of technology available. I mean, everyone is talking about ChatGPT like it's another thing. Well, you can't blame anyone. The AI is just incredible. But how did ChatGPT become a hit all of a sudden? The AI crossed over 100 million users in just 60 days. That's indeed a record. So why is everyone using this chat?
I'm currently on YouTube Live. I just wanted to try to invite some people in this morning. I'm working on starting to detail the face. So if you guys are just sitting around this morning having some coffee and breakfast and you want to do a little bit of like Bob Ross style relaxation, ASMR or whatever that shit is called, you know, I'll be in the studio for a while this morning, starting to make a little bit more progress on this piece. You know, we've been working on the background for a long time. Weeks and weeks working on the background. I think it's the background has got a lot of good details in there now, and so I want to start moving to the foreground, start detailing some of this here. And so if you guys want to catch this part, you're definitely more than welcome to come over to the YouTube channel. I mean, the YouTube camera is right here. I use the PlayStation camera, but you get a better view of it. All right, catch you guys later.
Send it to the Secretary of State and say to her, say to the Secretary of State, I wish to settle out of court. You can settle anything out of court.
You can.
Of course. If Ford Motor Company is suing General Motors, they can settle out of court. So you won't know what they did to settle the thing because it's out of court.
Out of the water.
It's out of the water, right?
Right.
So you can settle any criminal complaint out of court. You just go through the Secretary of State and say that you want to settle this out of court. You don't have to go to court. You don't have to go to court.
I'm sorry, I don't got nothing planned on YouTube. I need to try to make this a little more interesting somehow, instead of just hearing this fan and AC blowing. It's actually they're pretty cool in here. I might be able to turn it off for a minute. Um, we got a bunch of clouds out. It's not really hot this morning. Is there anything in particular we want to listen to this morning? Some documentaries, some news, current events. Ouch. I'm not sure. I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I always, not always, most of the time, most of the time, I will have something playing, some kind of auditory stimulation. But sometimes, just the sound of the studio is enough. Just the squeaking of the chair and the moving of the palette and the sound of the brush against the canvas. Like sometimes that's much auditory stimulation I need. But I can imagine how boring that may be for some people. I'm thinking of something to listen to. I'm thinking of something good. I'm not thinking hard. It's like right there, like not in the back or the front. It's kind of like hovering in the middle, and I'm hoping that something interesting will just pop into my consciousness. So I'll just let it flow for a minute. That shit might drift away and I forget about it, but this model right here is like really dark skin. That's why I chose him. I love really dark skinned people. Beetlejuice. I hear you want reparations. Of course, I want reparations. What kind of question is that? Yo, I love your profile pic too, dude. That is so funny. Why you don't tell me you don't believe in reparations, man. Please don't tell me that. Hmm?
The very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. And this is a reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
That's why he got assassinated. So his first campaign of civil rights and voting rights, the Voting Rights Act of 64, 65, well, it was like from 64 to 66. You know, all the paperwork and legislation and everything took a couple of years. So in the 60s, mid 60s, the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, people were actually amazed that he was as pivotal an individual as he was in order to help get all of that accomplished. That made him a target. He was on the FBI watch list. He was on the CIA watch list. He had assassination threats prior to actually being assassinated. And then what really hyped it up was this new understanding after he started talking to Malcolm X and realizing different things about both of their movements and how they can join their movements together and focus on the important things and not the trivial things, because he actually said that I fear that I have integrated my people into a burning house. And so all these niceties about sharing public areas and being welcomed into certain establishments, they realized all that was bullshit. We should have went for the money to start with. And so he was going to start a legitimate campaign for reparations. And what he had already previously accomplished showed that he was very dedicated, very smart, very savvy, and had some connections. And he may have actually been able to achieve some type of reparations deal for African Americans. And so do you know Isaiah Dorman joined the white men to fight real Americans. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything when you start asking about reparations. You're trying to throw too many subjects out at one time. You can't stay on topic about the reparations topic. Or is this in conjunction with reparations? Does this Dorman guy advocate for reparations or have an argument against reparations? So Isaiah Dorman founded Wilkes-Barre? All this is the Battle of Little Bighorn. And I kind of remember that story. Isaiah Dorman. Oh, I don't know what this is. Dorman's arrest record, social media profiles. What the hell is this? That's the only thing that's coming up when I see this shit. Isaiah Dorman. I don't know. The only African American at the Little Bighorn battle. And Little Bighorn was some Indians and some white men. Like I said, if he was the only person there to fight the real Americans, as you say, and you don't really know history at all, bro. Because even the people that you think are Native Americans, they're not the original indigenous people to the Americas or to what is actually known as Turtle Island. This shit way older than the red man. And so just because one black dude was fucking chilling with the goddamn pilgrims, trying to do the best he can, and he got out there and fought a couple of Indians. What the fuck does that have to do with your first question about reparations? That shit don't even... That shit is weird, bro. And I like how people like you who use this mean face you have for your profile, your people fight with the white man. Okay, bro. It said... Exactly. The one clip up here said he was the only black man at Little Bighorn. The only one. That's a person. There's this fucking picture of a Klan rally in like the fucking 20s. And it has this black dude just chilling with the Klan, yo. Yo, that shit happened all the time. Just like the one white boy who went over to Iraq and joined the fucking Taliban. So what? Your people fight against your own people. Motherfuckers choose sides for weird ass shit. Look at motherfucking Edward Snowden, where he's at. That motherfucker in Russia. Yeah, there's way more examples of whatever the fuck you're trying to say, where you can just find one outlier who joins the opposing group for whatever reasons. You trying to take this shit back to some historical account. That's weird.
Look at the next comment.
And you want reparations. Oh, so bad you were slaves. It's not so bad that we were slaves. It's because everybody was slaves everywhere around the world. But the worst thing about chattel slavery in America is that the slavers had centuries and centuries of historical data and information to go off of. So chattel slavery was the last form of mass slavery, and it was the harshest and worst because we lost everything. You know, all throughout history where people were slaves, they still knew who they were. They knew their lineage and their ancestors and where they came from. Like the so-called slaves here lost all of that shit to the point where we don't really know where the fuck we're from because for so many generations you were just brainwashed people into believing whoever the fuck you wanted them to be.
They said at least they let you live.
No, they realized that they couldn't kill us.
Not all of us.
That's the one realization is they realized they couldn't kill all of us. And now they realize that after their specific breeding programs for a couple of centuries, that they actually have bred super beings. They bred super humans. They only took the best of the best and then stuck them in the harshest conditions where they became even more fortified, even more resilient, even more creative.
Exactly.
And you did this for centuries, not knowing what you're doing. You're building the toughest, sturdiest stock of humans. And now they fear us so bad because they realized they couldn't kill us, not with crack. They couldn't kill us with the drugs. They couldn't kill us with the AIDS. It's like we're almost invincible. They can't kill us with the sun.
Notice how though.
They can't kill us with the poisons in the food. They're trying so many ways to kill us, and they can't. And they fear that because they know we can breed them out of existence. All I have to do is get white women pregnant, and you will disappear. You will disappear. In 2 generations, you will be gone.
But every time somebody says that, it's always people have to deflect. Now they're talking about natives were hunted like dogs. Like, first of all, some of us were already here. That's number one. Number two, just because natives were hunted like dogs, does that mean that slavery didn't exist or that it wasn't bad? Like, two can't exist at the same time.
The Trail of Tears, bro. Yeah, where the fucking invaders and the conquerors came and pushed the so-called natives off of their land and kept pushing them west and pushing them west and pushing them west. It was called manifest destiny, a very delusional psychological disorder that the European ingrained in his psyche that he was the chosen one to conquer this land. Manifest destiny. You want to tell me to look up so much shit? Look up that shit. Have you ever heard of manifest destiny and how idiotic the ideology is behind that?
I remember doing Manifest Destiny in like middle school, and I actually used the poster to make like a big board game, and I literally made that shit like Monopoly because that's what the idea reminds me of. Like, you might go to jail, you might not. You and the white man are partners, always have been.
There's no other way around it. There's the only thing that ever is relationships. Everybody's a partner. It all depends on to the degree to who holds the most power in the partnership.
And furthermore, the white man is everybody's partner because colonization and everything that's been done over the last how many years.
So
White man
I
messed over white man.
I really admire Western culture. I really do. And just like one of their great philosophers said, we never seen ships come into Europe. Only ships went out from Europe, going out to explore the world and not return. But nobody ever came there. And you know why? It's a shitty fucking place. Nobody wants to go there. They left Northern Europe with these fucking mild summers and harsh winters, and they started sailing south and realizing, like, yo, these motherfuckers are nude damn near 90% of the year. Why? We only have 1 or 2 seasons, and it's nice, and we don't need to kill animals and wear their furs and all this shit. Because we can chill and eat fruits and nuts and vegetables and fish. And y'all seen how other people were living, and we weren't as violent because we were more in tune with nature, because we had less stress, and we are actually adapted and equipped to live on the surface of the earth. And motherfuckers just took advantage of that, and that's all it is. It's just you opportunistic, taking advantage, and building your own shit up. And I kind of admire that. I like the way that damn near the entire planet speaks English. You can go to almost any major industrialized country, and if you speak English, you'll be okay. I can get plopped down somewhere in the middle of fucking Japan. I'll find somebody who can understand some English. I can go and drop me in the middle of Germany. Drop me in the middle of Lebanon. There will be somebody somewhere who knows some English. That's an amazing thing. I really can't express how fascinated I am about what the Western culture has been able to do with their language, and how they've spread that shit so much till their language is the universal language. It is the universal language. That's a fucking amazing achievement, an amazing accomplishment. It was done through brute force, most of it, but it's still very fucking amazing. I can go somewhere in fucking deep Africa, and somebody might understand a little bit of fucking English, bro.
Either English or French, and even that.
It's like, wow.
Because French is still their shit.
The monetary system, how they've created the banking institutions, that shit is fucking amazing, that you can just say that this piece of paper, literally wood pulp, is worth, whatever. So I study y'all motherfuckers like y'all study everybody else. Y'all very interesting people. At the same time, you're still the most violent, the most ruthless, the most cutthroat, the most non-spiritual group too. And so everybody has their, it's yin and yang. Everybody got their good qualities, everybody got their bad qualities. It seems like Western culture just, I don't know, some of their bad attributes greatly outshadow a lot of the good things that they've been able to accomplish, because that it was the means by which they accomplished all their great feats, not through diplomacy, democracy, unity, communication. It's always done through brute force, and you just tell motherfuckers it'll be good for you in the end. I'm gonna crush the shit out you right now. I'm gonna displace all your people, but once I lay this railroad, I can bring goods and services in, and you'll see in like 60, 70 years, 100 years, like how good this will be. But I gotta crush you first. and then I'll try to play nice with you. Isaiah Dorman lived with natives. Look, bro, do you not understand that even here, everybody was slaving everybody? It was definitely the bulk of it was the Europeans and the fucking all the white settlers coming over here. The land owners, so called. But then there were red people who had black people. There was black people who had white people and red people, and there was white people who had black people. And but who was able to turn it into a economic foundation to undergird the construction of their union? That was nobody but the Europeans, and we can see the outcome of it. They did it the best. No matter who else participated, no matter who else slaved whoever for whatever amount of time, here in this country, the only country I've ever lived in, the one that I understand the history of the most, here in this country, the white man was able to outmaneuver and build this into a complete economic structure, the foundation of this nation. The black people didn't do that, and the Indians didn't do that. The white man was just extremely better at it. And so now, here you go. Bro, I don't care about this one historical dude you're talking about who lived with some natives and begged for his life, and why is he so fascinating to you? You tell me that. How did you learn about this guy, and why is he so fascinating to you? You got this motherfucking name tattooed on your booty or something? Isaiah. He fought with the white man against the natives, but he lived with the natives.
The black man helped the white man.
He lived with the natives and he begged for his life. You ever heard of
Clayton Biggs.
Damn. It's called Stockholm syndrome. You ever heard of that? Bro, I don't have to look that shit up. Why are you telling me to look up this one historical figure? It's right here on my laptop. I'm looking at it. I typed in Isaiah Dorman and a bunch of shit comes up about the Battle of Little Bighorn. So that's it. He was at the Battle of Little Bighorn. And so why, who cares? Once again, his story has to find these little outliers and try to make that shit seem so significant for whatever reasons. It's true. Look it up. You look up how old Pocahontas was. You look up what kind of STDs Columbus had. Look all that shit up.
But why do you just keep coming back to say once again you want reparations? Like, it's kind of like you're deflecting from the topic a little bit.
From one person at the Battle of Little Bighorn. How does that negate slavery in general?
Maybe the comments are cycling back through. That might be what it is. Because I just keep seeing reparations.
Okay.
Reparations is a topic, but this black man that fought for the white man is also the topic. And now that natives behind this. I'm still talking.
So, because one black man fought with white people to kill natives, that negates all of slavery and all of the suffering for damn near 300 years, right? That just pushed all that shit to the side. And that's null and void, superficial.
They let us live while they wiped out the whole nation. I'm sorry. Who had syphilis and all that? Who tested on their people and other people? Who was doing cloning and illegal experiments and all types of stuff?
And once again, even when you think about it like that, it don't make no fucking sense. It doesn't make sense. So, you go and settle a new land that already has a vast population of millions of people here. And you want free labor and slaves. But so instead of enslaving the people who are already here, you travel halfway across the world to a whole nother continent and bring those people here, and then you shove off the people who were already here. That don't make no fucking sense.
It doesn't. And then to say, like, basically what I'm getting from what you're saying is you believe that we were more valuable and we should be thankful. Oh, they let you live, even though you were slaves and you were whipped and raped and taken away from your children and everything else. But, oh, you were valuable and you got to live. And that's the other thing. If slaves were worth money or, worth things, then they might beat them up. But, of course, they're not going to try to kill them. But then why not enslave the natives, too? Like, why don't y'all believe that there were already some of us?
Oh, the natives wouldn't make good slaves. They were too rowdy, or whatever story that somebody said sometime. They weren't able to be domesticated or something. So how did y'all conquer them if this is their land and they're native to this land and they're too tough to fucking tame? Then how were you even able to push them away?
Exactly.
A lot of this shit don't add up with the slave story, man. It just don't. And I hate to even...
And you're lucky because you got to live as a slave and not be killed.
Yeah.
Do you know that there's some people that actually just, like, walked into some water and committed suicide instead of letting people take them from their land? Like, I don't know. I don't like when people try to stick to one point, but it seems like you don't really actually know the history of slavery.
No. How about you look up Dane Calloway? You look that up.
White man knows you do what they say, and you've been doing it for years.
Once again, the European and Western culture has dominated the world, and so we basically live in a European country where there are rules and regulations, and that he enforces through violence because he has a monopoly on violence. And if you don't do what he say the way he says to do it, then he will be violent towards you.
Or you'll go to prison.
Which is still violence.
Exactly.
So.
Or you can't work and make a living.
And once again, I'm fascinated by Western culture. They have been able to do an amazing thing. And they got people by the fucking balls. They got you by the balls. Because they've monopolized violence. They, like, once again, like I've said,
you don't do better until you know better.
The only way that they have been able to achieve any of this is brute force. That's all they know is brute force. They will make you.
Okay, let's give y'all reparations. Okay, thanks.
Brute force is how they've achieved 99% of their accomplishments. That's the only way they know how to do it. There's this little funny slogan in the military. America, we do it wrong until we get it right. Like, they just force their way through everything. No real civility or empathy or anything like that. You can see that with the fucking pandemic, how they just brutally force that shit on you. They will force you to comply, and I bet you did too. I bet you complied. You had no fucking choice. Uh,
And again, like, what about redlining? You know?
there's a lot of shit you can look up to and educate yourself too, my dude. Instead of worrying about this one Dorman guy who, if he was a black man, obviously came from some kind of interment or position of servitude with someone else, because Isaiah could be Arab name, and a lot of Northern African, even dark-skinned African men can carry Arab names because they've been over there mixing and mingling for centuries. But Dorman is definitely not is definitely not African or Islamic name or something or anything like that. So he already had a Christian name given to him by some Christian European guy. So once again, once you understand Stockholm syndrome, do you know what that is? You should look that up.
Stockholm syndrome. You need to look up redlining.
And
breaking.
And that can probably explain to you why Mr. Dorman felt the way that he did feel towards certain people at that time. He already has a Christian name. That means a lot.
He lived with the
Lakota.
And
Yeah.
he was killed by women natives. Oh, so were the natives aggressive?
So
were
which
Africans less aggressive than everybody else?
So what is your point about? That's what you just keep typing like these 3 or 4 words, and you want me to look up this whole shit. So what does he have to do with reparations? That's what I'm trying to get. What's his correlation with why we shouldn't get reparations? He lived with the Lakota, but he fought with the white man, so he was an Indian trader with a Christian name.
That actually would make more sense, because I've heard a lot of stories of natives adopting people in and like actually having communities of natives and black or African American people. But I think that was more far and few.
That was no, there was major settlements in Georgia and Florida. That's where the Blackfeet and
But that's what I mean.
I even think the Lakota were down there too.
That's what I mean though. But that's like two major states. I'm not saying it wasn't other places, but
yeah. So like the southeast were actually havens for slaves who ran.
Right.
Or this is the story they tell, hypothetically, that they were havens for slaves who ran, and the tribes really, really started to mix. But at the same time,
I heard that too.
At the same time, I already think the Blackfeet and Lakotas, they were already
here.
Descendants of Mali, who've been here. They weren't some, oh, they're just really, really dark skinned Indians. Like, nah, it's not a mixture of Indians and African slaves. These people been here. That's why you can go to
the copper colored Indians.
Yeah, and you can go to motherfucking Mesoamerica and see the Olmec heads, which are clearly African, and these shits are fucking 6,000-7,000 years old. So if you had dark skinned, fat lip, wide nose, Negroid people in the Americas 6,000 years ago, predating the fucking Inca and the Aztecs, and then you're gonna say, oh, these people in the southern parts, the most southern parts of the continental U.S. is just they were all red people. Nah, I don't know. Even that far down south is, man, the sun be beaming too much, man. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be dark skinned. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, bro. You ever heard of You ever heard that they found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon? You ever heard of that shit before? And you wonder why the Smithsonian wants to cover that shit up and never ever let anybody see any of the artifacts that they pull out of the Grand Canyon, and why there's a no-fly zone and a no trespassing zone in that area where those caves were found. You wonder why? Because black people have been everywhere, bro. We already been here. We already done that shit, man. What did you mean?
And again, it goes back to that Western mindset, thinking that
They the first.
everybody is so primitive and yeah, they know the best, they know everything.
Nope.
Come to find out, motherfuckers been doing it.
You ever heard of
They
the?
can't even figure out how they built the pyramids.
You ever heard of the cocaine mummies? In the fucking in the 70s and 80s, this Russian lady was doing experiments, trying to just test different samples from mummies, from Egyptian mummies that were 5,000 years old, and she found tobacco and cocaine. And now she was using the same kind of drug tests and forensics tests that police use when they do a drug test. The same fucking analysis, the same hair test, it's the exact same thing that police use. And somebody said, oh, your samples are contaminated because cocaine and tobacco are not native to Africa. They're native to South America. Cocaine and tobacco are native to South America, Central America area. How in the fuck is that shit in a mummy that's 5,000 years old? And they go through and explain how, but you know how. You know how that shit happened. You know how that shit happened, bro. Because we've been here. We've been doing this shit. The black man has been everywhere already. So you frustrated and you mad because you want to focus on this one dude a couple hundred years ago fighting with some fucking Indians when the black man been on this continent 1,000 years ago.
Next you're gonna say whites are black. Every time white people get their ancestry done, don't it come back as like 0.999% sub-Saharan African? At what breath, I don't even trust this shit.
You're the dumbest person I know. Are you really? Really?
So who, according to science, where was the first person? Where did she come from? Primate, whatever the fuck you want to call her.
Hold on, let me
Imagine calling somebody dumb and you ain't did no goddamn research. Go listen to your European scientists. Shit, the philosophers, the politicians, they all tell the same story about Lucy. You should go look her up.
The heads in Mexico, the possibility.
See, this is what you don't know, and you're calling me the dumbest
There's
person.
just some things that are not comfortable for white people. They're not comfortable for them to talk about the possibility that Africans were here before the Europeans. So what do you do with the heads in Mexico that you find at San Lorenzo, at Tres Zapotes? What do you do with those? All right? You ignore them. What do you do with Columbus's diary that says the Africans know a way to the west, but it goes around the doldrums, we would never survive? What do you do with that? You ignore it. What do you do with Balboa's diary that says we came upon this African village in the isthmus? How did these Africans get here? What do you do with that? You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth that the Europeans were here first. What do you do with all of this written literature and history that says that Abubakar II of Mali sent 200 ships to the west? One came back and said they were afraid that the others disappeared. And then to have Balboa find this village that looks just like Mali, where he was, what do you do with this information? You ignore it.
Now, I hope you have fun.
You ignore it. Why? To preserve the myth of white superiority. That's what our whole educational process is devoted to. What do you do with this whole history? This is a written history, my dear. Written. I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm not talking about a griot said this. I'm not talking about something handed down from one generation to the other through voice. I'm talking about written history of the Egyptians. What do you do with this? You ignore it.
Don't get mad, man, because you want to ignore parts of history. You can't ignore certain parts of history. Everything.
DC's not a good example. You know what?
You gotta find a way for everything to fit together properly. And so there are bits and pieces, not even bits and pieces. There's chunks of history that you are completely unaware of, absolutely, totally oblivious and ignorant to. And just because you don't have a suitable foundation to construct your idea of what history is, you can't tell me I'm the dumbest fucking person you know, because I know shit you don't know. You may know shit that I don't know, like this motherfucking little bighorn black dude who lived with the Indians, Dorman, whatever, bro. But you know, Balboa wrote in his diary that he found a village in the Isthmus of Central America that looked exactly like Mali, filled with Africans. What do you do with that? Oh, you can't ignore it. You can just get mad at it, bro. And getting mad at the fact that Africans were here first and that maybe most of the enslaved people were already indigenous and they were already here, and you didn't have to drag thousands of people from a different continent on a extremely dangerous voyage across the ocean where half of your stock is going to die. That don't make sense either. Why struggle, fight so hard to conquer, capture, kidnap, wrangle, and load these motherfuckers up on a boat, knowing that by the time you get there, half of them may be dead anyway? How do you have enough food, water, and rations to survive this shit? It don't make sense. Not in the numbers that they said it happened. The numbers aren't adding up. More than likely, most of the black people that are currently here in America, their ancestors were already here and didn't actually come from Africa. That doesn't negate the fact that, yeah, we still want reparations. Still want reparations. And try as you might, and continue to call me the dumbest person you know. Try as you might. The only way you can continue to do that is by ignoring it. You have to ignore certain parts of history. You have to cherry pick certain instances, like Dorman fighting with the white man against the Lakota at the Battle of Little Bighorn. You have to pull up those instances, but you don't want to pull up Columbus's diary. You don't want to recant the accounts of Abubakari, the second king of Mali. You don't want to talk about the Italian explorer who also said he saw Mali here. You don't want to look at the heads in San La Rosa, Mexico, Come on, man. Which is still North America. Motherfuckers act like it's not one big chunk of land. It's still the same place. You can drive to Mexico, which means you can walk to Mexico. It's not like it's somewhere this totally foreign place. And like those motherfuckers couldn't be here. Matter of fact, that's the Mexican-American War. That's how you got fucking Texas and Arizona and the Southern California. You had to take that shit from Mexicans. So y'all over there telling me you fighting Africans and red people and Mexicans? Y'all some bad motherfuckers, man. Them Viking jeans, man. Y'all just brutal. Y'all just brute force your way through that bitch. Just lay down, crush every fucking body. Just crush them to fucking death. Hardcore Vikings, man. The conquistadors, the conquerors. Them Europeans, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all boys, y'all did some amazing shit. You gotta look at that shit and be like, you know what? Like if like white culture, like if all cultures were football teams, y'all would be like the superstars. Y'all just bowl over every fucking body, bro.
But there's that one team. But you always gotta kill.
I might have to cheat a little bit.
Mexicans are natives too. Just because you and the white man drew a line, don't make them Mexican.
I ain't drawing no line.
I was gonna say the white man the only person that drew the line, baby.
So you and the white man drew a line.
And most Hispanics don't know that they got black in it. Well, they do know, but they don't want to accept it. Whatever you want to call it.
You talk about like the white man, like, well, you not European, bro. You not of European descent, the Caucasian persuasion.
Right, because if you're Hispanic, you're a part of this shit too. Anything, it doesn't matter what you are, Mexican or otherwise. If you're Hispanic, you are part of it too. Unless you're from Spain, then you're Spanish and you don't count. But everybody else. Anybody from Africa?
Thank you.
Oh, you see.
Appreciate it. It's getting there, slowly but surely. Just trying to add the little details now. So what you think, Zane? We deserve reparations or nah? My great-great-grandfather fought in the Battle of Little Bighorn. And? Okay, and? What, you're native? Are you mad? Are you mad because I'm retelling your history the way it should be? That you're still a fucking descendant of African people? Check this out. I'm gonna let you know how you can tell the original man. Okay? No. I didn't. I mean, you ain't gotta really know what the conversation about. The question is, do you think African Americans are deserving of reparations? You somewhat your great grandfather. What I was about to say to that. It's all good. Oh, I'll tell you how you can tell who the original people are everywhere.
Oh, well, hello there, brother.
We are all due our money. Yes, and hell yes. I know that's right. But
this mother trucker is stuck on Bighorn. Oh my goodness.
Whatever your people fought in the Battle of Little Bighorn, who gives a fuck about that, bro? You know what? Who cares? So, once again, does the Battle of Little Bighorn negate slavery? Does it negate diet slavery in the form of Jim Crow and the convict leasing program? Does the Battle of Little Bighorn negate that part of history? Does it nullify the fact that the Jews got reparations, the Japanese got reparations, that the so-called Native Americans have their own reservations where they're not taxed by Uncle Sam. Like everybody has gotten some kind of little piece of nest egg, some kind of peace of mind, some kind of like, okay, we came to an agreement, we came to an understanding, and we've never the once again the so-called African American community has never gotten that little peace of mind where we say, okay, we can squash it now.
And that's his whole point. He's just like, oh, y'all are free now. We didn't kill y'all. No, we were free, and then y'all had all these black laws, and then you had colored water fountains and segregation and redlining, and y'all got stopped and frisked, and more African American men in jail, and even in general, the way we like imprison people here compared to other countries. So when have black people ever really had a break, even once slavery ended?
Well,
Exactly.
and I don't know. This, once again, you brought up the issue of reparations. I don't know why. I don't know why that was your first question. You just hop in here and like, yeah, you're the reparations guy. But I mean, why don't you're saying that this battle of Bighorn and black people fought with the white man during the Civil War, which is uh, documented historically as the defining war that determined the outcome of the fate of slavery at that time. There were black people fighting on both sides of the Civil War, fighting for the South. But why? Why? What was the terms and conditions? Some people were promised their freedom if they fought for whatever side. The North said the same thing. You fight for us, we'll give you your freedom. And the South said the same thing to a lot of the infantrymen that were of African descent or native descent. And so I don't understand why you're saying that just because you fought in wars, you fought alongside the white man to take this country or whatever. It doesn't negate that once again that ethnic group was done wrong for centuries.
Right, but because of one black man that fought with somebody else, we should just deflect from the whole topic and nobody gets reparations.
And once again, you brought it up. So why? I mean, I'm still not seeing the argument against reparations. Well, you fought on the same team. Yeah, because it's circumstances, situations, and stipulations that always are involved when it comes to combat. So once again, I don't see your argument, bro. And you're mad because you know it might be coming. Dude over there in California talking that shit, man. It might be coming. You never know. I really doubt it. And that's what pisses people off too, is that they already know like it'll be a hard chance for us to get that shit, but the simple fact that we won't let it go. we won't let that shit go though. I'm not gonna let it go, bro. There is no debate. He hung
We don't-
38.
You act like we fucking salute Abraham Lincoln. You
Oh,
act
like he's the greatest person. Who
Abe
gives a
Lincoln.
fuck?
He's number 2 after Jesus.
So wait a minute. Do you think we're trying to lessen the plight, the struggle, and the crimes committed against? I don't even know. I just go by the different tribal names, the Sioux, the fucking whatever. Because I don't like calling these people Indians or Native Americans. I don't know what kind of language to use no more.
Alright, that was cute.
Like peanut butter and jelly. That's
Nah,
funny.
even that's y'all shit. When y'all had to go to war and whatnot, and then the women had to step up, and y'all were poor during that the Great Depression, eating struggle meals, That's when y'all still started eating the peanut butter and jelly. So nah, that's actually y'all shit.
I don't even know if this dude is white. Honestly, I don't know. Man, what's your
Well,
ethnic?
there's some white people shit. Don't ask me why I know, but I be on them little random history.
What's your ethnicity, bro?
He still haven't said.
So I'm not just assuming. Cause you just seem like a hater, like a black basher.
I mean, we've been saying bro too. I don't know your gender, your race, your anything.
Yeah, a black basher. And you started it. Like, bro, we was literally in here chilling, listening to some AI news and music. My homeboy just sent me a beat, which is fucking crushing.
Oh, okay. Now it all makes sense.
Dakota?
I kind of don't believe that, but
I don't know. I think he identifies as.
Mhm. Are you a man?
I identify as a Dakota Suits. But are you really a Dakota? You know, what it was, the $10 Indian? $5 Indian motherfucker. Hey, everybody come here and talk. Bitch, you is not you Northern European.
18th Indian.
Come on, man. This motherfucker might just identify.
That's why I'm so tan.
He needs some kind of struggle in his life. You Dakota Indian, but look at his fucking. But you got the picture. You got a trolley picture of a.
Nah, he got the picture of Beetlejuice. The name Beetlejuice. That's the character. That's that dude with the no teeth that be trying to eat the chicken. He had the chicken bucket. Remember from Wade? It was like a.
He's still on and he got the
but
new.
He's trying to be, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're an Indian. If you were so proud of who you are and worried about important topics like this, why would you have such a trolley, meme type thing, which would almost seem slightly offensive to a black person?
Yeah, because you want reparations.
Slightly offensive to a black person.
A black person on a good Saturday morning.
And the thing is, I can tell you're a little bit upset because you're actually having a debate with intelligent people. You know, I'm sorry I'm not that whoever you thought I was when you came in here. And you thought you were just going to say, Dakota Indians. Look it up, look it up, look it up, look it up. I'm trying to tell you. I'm good, bro.
Like, you don't even know your own history if you are.
Clown ass nigga.
Oh my goodness.
But you'll be okay, bro. This is art and education. So you're getting a little bit of art right here. And we're both educating each other. You know, because I never heard the name of Isaiah Dorman. Not right off the top. Maybe if I hear the story, I may. Have you ever heard the story of John Brown?
I got y'all pissed. I'm done.
Who's pissed?
Baby, please.
Bro, we live for this shit. Yeah, like, bro. Look, bro. Oh, none of my reader series is in here. My guy, I live for this shit, bro. Trust me. Trust me. I'm a debater. And I like learning shit. Once again, the name of the channel is Art and Education. I don't mind learning shit because I don't know everything. Nobody can know everything. It's impossible. But I know enough to know when I'm hearing some bullshit. And I think most of your argument this morning has been facetious. It's been ill-informed and almost pointless. But I entertain you because I know, like, right now at this moment, I'm the most entertaining thing you have going on. Or else you'd be watching something else, man, some Netflix, or you'd be on somebody else's YouTube channel, clackety, typing away. But once again, I'm not trying to disappoint you. I don't think this has been an argument the entire time. I've just been trying to figure you out for jumping up in here. Like I said, first thing. So, you believe in reparations? It's like, okay, let's get this started. That's how you want to start out. It's fucking 7 o'clock in the morning. Okay. And I don't know where you at, because if you any west of me, it's early and it might be 5:30 in the morning where this dude at. He just wake up with aggression like these niggas and their reparations. Here they go. Let me hop on YouTube. Oh, he live? He live right now?
Beggars. Look who's begging for attention right now, Beetlejuice.
Beggars? Ain't nobody begging for nothing, bro. Hey, man.
Beggars is all I'm saying. But
You
ain't saying that.
Hey, man, you got a job, right? You have a contract with somebody that the way you earn your money. I bet that month, if you go at the time you were supposed to receive your money and they said, well, we changed our mind, I bet that shit will piss you the fuck off. The same way that the federal government said in documentation that each enslaved family would in turn receive 40 acres and 2 mules. And then they turn around and say, you know what? You change our mind. You'll still be pissed, bro. Still be pissed, bro. Man, and see, you go to work, you probably get paid weekly or bi-weekly. Or if you're on salary, some people get paid monthly. You just get one lump sum a month. And so that's the most extreme cases. You work all month and you can't wait to get paid. Now imagine working for 300 years. Imagine you work for 300 years. You can't do nothing else but work. You can't educate yourself. You can't advance your own interests. You can't fully express your creative aspects. You just got to work for 300 years. And then at the end of this long ass shift, you be like, all right, y'all gonna get paid. And then they be like, no, you know what, the contract fell through. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to start over from scratch. Y'all be alright now. Like, alright. So I don't own any land, any property. I don't have access to any real resources. I don't have any real standardized education. And so you're just gonna leave me out here in the wind? Yeah, you be alright now. People be pissed over that for a long time. A long time, man. Imagine your ancestors hunted and killed for 300 years. Well, we tried to. You know how many slave revolts there were? We tried to hunt and kill these motherfuckers to get our freedom. There's a lot of slave revolts. But once again, I don't know. Dark-skinned people are way more we're just more human. And I would use words like tame and docile, but that make us sound weak. We're just more human, more spiritual type beings. And it just seems like the European they're just like empty vessels, like they're heartless and cold, calculating. And I think that's the only way that they were able to subdue and brainwash so many people for so long. They just think completely differently, you know? And it's a really, really weird thing. But then at the same time, like, if you are a Lakota Indian, I can imagine why you say we go together like peanut butter and jelly. Because if you really believe like standard history, like standard education history here in America, like the Indians they have been doing really shitty, and you're not doing as good as black people are. You're just not. Even though you got your reparations and you got your reservations and all that shit, like, nobody don't really give a fuck about y'all. Like, y'all not big in anything. Y'all not big in sports. You're not big in entertainment. You're not really big in the financial district. You guys aren't known to be like war heroes, or like, I can see that. And that is kind of fucked up. And so I can see like why you would have this feeling that, oh, the black man and the white man hold hands together. Y'all buddy buddy, y'all chums, y'all chummy chummy, and you know what I'm saying, y'all go together like peanut butter and jelly. I can kind of see that.
This motherfucker got time. Ooh, good one. Burn, Beetlejuice, burn, baby.
Yeah, that's why I said they bred a super being. Not intentionally, I don't think. Well, I mean, intentionally in a way, because they thought that once you can chain the mind, you will always be able to chain the body. And for the most part, like the mind is still chained. That's why we have people like Nicki Minaj and a lot of other entertainers now, and to keep that perpetual state of mental slavery going. But at the same time, like the chains are starting to break, but the body hasn't. And so now they've created this immaculate body, this super being, this person that can perform uh, feats of agility and athleticism beyond anybody else's capabilities. We are really like like the best of our stock. We're like superhumans. And once again, that's a very scary thing. And they realize that they have bred superhumans. And so for the past 50, 60 years, they've been doing soft kill. And so they got to poison everything and try to break us down because they've built us up too strong over fucking centuries. They made a Superman.
The last time I checked, Cardi B is Hispanic and not an African American woman. I know she has an African American daughter and husband, but last time I checked, she was Hispanic.
Hispanic.
Yeah.
And they still
I mean, I'm not saying
no,
that
they
'cause-
still use people like that to brainwash the
But I was
black
about to
community.
say, and like because we're very intertwined with the Hispanic community.
Yep.
Yeah. They always need us for entertainment. I mean, even like Elvis and Big Mama Thornton, he stole all her music, or a lot of her music, and a lot of other people's music. But it's just how it goes.
So, yo, what's your name, Beetlejuice? I can see like I can see your gripes, bro. I understand, man. I understand your gripes a little bit. If you're honest about who you are and your situation and all this extra stuff, you know, I get it. I mean, I can see how you would like want more for your people and more attention to your history, and that's all good. And so you should go out there and advocate for that shit and do deep, deep, deep dives, just like you did on the one black dude who was at the Battle of Little Horn. Do deeper dives like that, and then you make your own channel like this, and then you present your evidence and your findings and your research in a constructive manner and try to help educate other people instead of jumping on my stream and being a troll. Because you can start up your own stream and then you can invite me in and we can have a debate or an open conversation instead of just like sitting here trying to troll somebody and telling somebody they're the dumbest person they've ever met when I showed you an educator I'm just repeating her stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just repeating what I learned from a college professor, a history professor.
You done said you out about 4 or 5 times, Beetlejuice.
I know, man. You ain't got nothing else to do
You
today,
ain't
bro.
going nowhere.
Calm down, bro.
You
Sit
at the
down.
climax.
Matter of fact,
Yeah, the pyramids will definitely go by us. Big Rob said, yo,
yo, Rob, what's good? Oh, how long you been here? All right, I did a good hour with the brush. Slowly getting some details in there. You know, really trying to work on that skin tone. They say we've been working on this background for weeks, man. But look at the shadows casted on the blinds inside the windows. That's so cool.
Definitely taught them how to bathe. Say it again. Say it again.
Yeah, the bricks took forever. And I've been working on the trees for a couple of days, but now the trees are, little branches are starting to look good. And now, like I say, we're starting to focus on some of the skin tones and trying to get some of these nice highlights on this nicely melanated young man.
I'm sorry, I called you broke before your answers. She said, taught them how to bathe. No, she did. I ain't say it. She
It's
did.
looking a lot better after today's detail. It is, bro. Like I said, this is my favorite layer right here. So that second layer is always the good one. In the background, like the background has that, well, actually like 3 layers on it now, but it's the background, so it's hard to really see it coming to life as well as you can see the person. And so when I can get to the point where I'm really starting to detail the person, this is when it starts getting exciting for me. I need to feather this out a little bit.
Big Rob said it's gonna pop. And only one said how much for the painting.
How much for the painting? I'm not sure yet. It's far from done. I have a lot more to do to this thing. It takes me a while to price them, but for the past couple of years, something this size with this much detail, I probably put at like $8 grand. I don't know. I might have to do like 9 on this one just because the bricks, yo. I ain't gonna lie. The bricks, that's $1,000 worth of painting by itself. Cause I'm gonna charge $1 per brick. I know I put 1,000 brush strokes just on the brick building in the background, but I absolutely know for a fact there's over 1,000 brush strokes on that building. So I really try to determine time. Like time is a major factor for me, and detail, and that kind of goes hand in hand. The more time I put into it, the more detail it'll have. And then I look at the size of it, and so it's a lot of detail on a big ass fucking canvas. Sometimes it's hard to actually tell how big these things are.
No, 9,000.
So yeah, this isn't a little. This is not a little canvas. This is a fairly nice sized canvas. So, like I said, it's hard to just see the comparison to a person. So yeah, this might be, I don't know, I might actually like 8 or 9 for this bitch when it's done. Got to see how I feel afterwards. I'm getting to the point like every like 4 or 5 years I put my prices up to a certain level and they just stay there. And so, like I say, for the past few years I've been pricing my stuff at like 7, 8. I got a couple of pieces I value at 10. But I think like in the next year or so, like my shit is gonna like my standard price for any of my paintings are gonna be like $8,000 or $9,000, and they're gonna be fucking 10 and 12 on the high end. Because once I've already started selling paintings for like $5,000 and $6,000, $7,000, like, so people are expecting that shit now. So it's time to like doop and go up a little bit. But that's just for my personal art. I still do commissions for really cheap, which is, some people don't really understand like how cheap the commissions can be. But I haven't had one in a while because everybody's fucking broke. The economy is shit right now, and nobody has extra money for luxury items like that. Not for $1,000 painting.
Big Rob asked if it was in front of a university. The painting. Where he sitting?
No, actually, that's right in front of the courthouse on the square in downtown Scranton. We were right on the square. Well, we started at Northern Lights. Northern Lights. What's the last word? Is it cafe or
Northern Lights Cafe.
Yeah, Northern Lights Cafe, or is it T-shirt? No, it's cafe. So we started inside, and I did get like a couple of good pictures inside, but then we went outside and like literally just crossed the street right onto the square, and the first bench it was like right in the sunlight, and so we had decent lighting inside, but I just really love natural bright sunlight, yo. And when that sunlight, and he's dark skinned, and that shit started hitting his fucking skin, I'm like, yeah, I gotta do this shit right here, bro. But
It's starting to get hot up here.
yeah,
It's the time of the day.
that's what I tried to get up here early for that sun came out. I did have the AC and fan on. It was kind of chilly when I had that shit blowing. That's why I turned it off. And plus, the sound is just annoying sometimes. But don't wait too long to get back into that shit, bro.
I'll be happy when you get a coloring commission.
Huh?
I'll be happy when you get a coloring commission. You haven't had one of those in a while.
In a long time, yo. The last one I did was that dog, that bulldog.
Oh, yeah.
That was color pencil.
I was about to say the little girl. It was the dog.
Yeah, the dog.
The little girl was so cute, though.
That was a good one, though.
With that yellow background, that was really pretty.
Yeah, people don't request color pencil drawings as much, and they're cheaper than my paintings. For sometimes,
Even cheaper than digital. The color pencil was cheaper than the one my homeboy got that digital thing from you.
he wanted a lot on that though.
Yeah, true. And it is like for his album or whatever, but still.
You study art? Where you went to school at? How you study art and stop doing it, bro? I mean, life. I get it. Trust me, life is there, and that shit will get in the way. And you gotta live life. You can't push it to the side. Like, god damn it, motherfucker. Shit, cause without life, you'd be dead. Philosophy. Let me look up this whack ass school. I bet this shit whack as fuck, son.
So I'm gonna put some respect. Yo, listen, right? Look at this. This is for makeup, but I thought it was for paint. Right. I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Somebody like me would love something like that.
Really? So it's the same school, but not the same school you went to. Oh, it's a private college. Wow. Cleveland is the city where I come from, so run. It was cool when I did it. Now it's so progressive now. I mean, the new building looks tough, bro. It's all modern. The old building looked like a classic school, and now it looks like, I'm guessing that's the old building, and that's the new building.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I like the old feel better.
Nah, that don't make no damn sense.
Then it did some more stuff.
It don't make no sense at all.
I can't help that I'm hungry right now.
Well, go fix something to eat then.
Okay, I will in a minute.
I'm gonna take a bathroom break. I almost want to listen to this little Legend of Bighorn.
Well, shit, I'm gonna be leaving soon to go to the resort.
Oh yeah.
But I'll throw something together.
It's all good. to find something to listen to real quick.
Well, I can't take this heat anyway, so let me go find something to make. I'm smoking some EC.
Just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that.
Alright, and I'm gonna take a bathroom break and I'll be right back.
What?
And I don't, there it is. It's just hovering in the sky. It's just hovering in the fucking sky.
Oh.
Anybody tell me what that is?
Come on, man.
Clouds! It went up into the clouds! Yo, I swear to you, G! Yo!
What is it? Be careful, be careful. What is that? But that could be a satellite. That could be a satellite. Dude. Welcome back to the coolest channel on YouTube. Look, man, we got a dope video in store for y'all today, man. Just do me one favor. Smash that like button. It's absolutely free, y'all. It's not going to hit your account or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But look, y'all. Hopefully y'all been having a good time. Just know we're going through this thing called life together. And before you believe anything on the internet, just make sure you're doing your own research, people. But let's hop into this video without further ado.
You should know that the alien flag is known as the trilateral insignia. It looks like a TP with two circles on either side of the T and one hole running straight down the middle. It is displayed on their craft and worn on their chest on their uniforms. Both of these landings in the second meeting were filmed, and the film exists today. Where it exists, I do not know, but I do know that it exists. The treaty stated, the aliens would not interfere in our affairs, and we would not interfere in theirs. We were particularly interested that they do not interfere with anything that would affect our future, which has been violated. We would keep their presence on Earth a secret. They would furnish us with advanced technology and would help us in our technological development. They would not make any treaty with any other Earth nation. They could abduct humans on a limited and periodic basis for the purpose of medical examination and monitoring of our development, with the stipulation that the humans would not be harmed, would be returned to their point of abduction, that the humans would have no memory of the event, and that the alien nation would furnish MJ-12 with a list of all human contacts and abductees on a regularly scheduled basis. And this is not being done. It was agreed that each nation would receive the ambassador of the other for as long as the treaty remained in force. It was further agreed that the alien nation of the United States would exchange 16 personnel each to the other with the purpose of learning each of the other. The alien guests would remain on Earth, and the human guests would travel to the alien point of origin for a specified period of time, then return, at which point a reverse exchange would be made. I have no knowledge whatsoever of what happened to those original 16 humans who left the Earth with the aliens.
Oh my God, it is a freaking UFO.
Now, do you believe that shit or not? That another race of beings came here and made treaties and agreements with different governments of Earth, which said, we're interested in learning about you people. We'll leave 16 of our scientists here and our top, intellectuals, and then we'll take 16 of your people to our home world and we can learn. You don't believe in the treaty? Nah. All right. So sounds real when you say it, but nah. It's like if they didn't have some type of arrangement, some type of agreement, then wouldn't you think that the government would give more acknowledgement to the fact that they don't know? And like recently, they've been like a lot of government officials have been coming out saying, "Yo, we have craft. We are reverse engineering this shit. We are. It's real." Like there's like 2 or 3 people from the government who already stepped out and said that. And then last year, they had the debriefing with the Pentagon about Arrow, the anomaly reporting something something. They made a whole division, and they said that we streamlined our whistleblower program. We're trying to do away with all the stigma behind anybody saying they saw anything. We just want clear, accurate reports and data. And this was last year. And then now this year, you have officials saying, well, I've been hearing this and that. So what I'm thinking is, we're far too primitive. So this is what I'm thinking. It's all the internet's fault, bro. It's all the internet's fault. And for almost a generation is, 20, 25 years, we've had access to the internet. And so I think a younger everybody has to be replaced. Even all these old ass politicians, Pelosi and all these motherfuckers who still in there and they're fucking like Biden in their 80s and shit. These motherfuckers 70, 80 years old. They got to get replaced sooner or later. And who are they getting replaced with? Younger people who have had access to the internet for a long time. And then the generation behind us is going to be even worse. And so I think that these treaties and arrangements and these agreements that they've had have been able to be sustained because it was easier to keep information from the public. It's extremely hard to keep information from the public. Even the leaked Pentagon files that the guy put out on fucking Discord. Still, motherfucking Edward Snowden, the WikiLeaks guy. It's hard to keep shit away now. And so I think they're just forced to acknowledge that they have known something for a long time. But they want to do it in a way like, oh, it's kind of new and they're gonna have to word it some way where we haven't been doing this for 80 years. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, and that's what somebody else said the same thing about his body language. I was watching Dane Calloway because I watched the initial interview and then I watched Russell Brand break down the interview and then I watched Dane Calloway break down the interview, and a lot of people do like talk about his body language. So I don't know. At the same time, like there's so much footage that people are getting now. Like 90, I think it's like 90% of Americans have a smartphone, which means 90% of people have a camera on them at all times. 90% of people have not even a camera, a recording device on them at all times. We keep our phones on us all the time. This is weird as shit that we're starting to capture so much stuff because so many people have digital recorders. And it's almost impossible to deny the shit we're seeing in the sky. You know, it was always those grainy ass fighter jet footage. We had the Tic Tac one, and then we had the other one, and that's all we ever had that was like legitimate military shit. But now, like, as much as we do our own shit, man, motherfuckers be catching some shit, bro, and it's just. But yes, I do believe in aliens. So, once again, now the biggest thing is, do you believe they are just starting to come here? Do you believe they've been here for a long time? Like, somebody even made the suggestion that it's a lost civilization that has just been hidden somewhere on Earth, and they go out and scout every once in a while to see what the fuck the rest of the world is doing. And watching over us, the Watchers, the ancient alien theory, the Anunnaki and all that shit. That was my first basis for like understanding a real hypothesis to the alien agenda. It's like the Anunnaki myths. And what if they are the creator guys who just kind of like, you know, once again, a lost civilization. These beings who had technology and they just, you know, decided to go off somewhere because they were, you know, looked to as gods or the mighty ones or whatever. You know, and now they're just the Watchers. They're fucking they're sitting on top of Mount Olympus. You know what I'm saying? And looking down. Hey, there's always my phone about to die. And this wasn't even charging, so now this is about to die. Motherfucker. Why isn't that charging? Hello. That's probably why it's not charging. This one doesn't want to charge. Oh, that's charging. And that's what I think too, bro. But what I heard, what's his name? Graham Hancock. But Graham Hancock said maybe not more advanced, but just different. You know, when it comes to the technology, he said it may not have been exactly like a more advanced technology, just a different type of technology that we can't understand. Yo, he's the fucking man, yo. Him, if you like Graham Hancock, bro, have you ever heard of Brian Forrester? Look up Brian Forrester. Oh yeah, most definitely. These motherfuckers had some kind of flight capabilities. The NASCAR lines, like you look at the NASCAR lines, and it's like you can only truly see it from the sky. Like how? Why would anybody make something that you can only see from the sky if you didn't have the capability to see it? You're not gonna build this thing and not be able to enjoy it yourself. So I remember the first time I seen somebody talk about the NASCAR lines, I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers had some type of flight, some type. David Adder. Let me look him up real quick. I'm gonna type his name in right now. Cosmic Disclosure. Space scientists spill secrets of Area 51. UFO College of Science. Aliens are here. They are not our friends. Oh, this on Gaia. It takes me to a Gaia link. I would have to. You know what? I might have to look them up on fucking.
I used to believe that asking for help or going to therapy was a sign of weakness, especially as a man. It's embarrassing to be vulnerable like that. And I understand this.
Josh Cole here. So there's a lot of talk about Area 51. I'm a researcher in planetary sciences, so I can share with you what I know about what's really in Area 51. What's in Area 51 is actually that's what's in Area 51.
That was so stupid. What the fuck was that? David Adair. It tries to get me to go to some kind of paid subscription for Gaia. So now what if I go through Bing? Let me look it up here. If I look through Bing. Yeah, I had to go through the Bing search. Yo, I did. I typed his name in YouTube, and that shit did not come up, bro. But then when I go through Bing, and then it'll send me to the YouTube video. It says David Adair at Area 51. So let me type all of that in, because just his name did nothing. Let's see. And a bunch of his stuff don't come up. So what I'm getting is one of his videos, and then I get this other little spoofy shit, and then I get the dude who wrote the Pale Horse, and then I get a motherfucking Bob Lazar video. Like, I don't know. But then when I do the Bing search and go through videos, like he has a ton of videos on YouTube, but they not showing you all them shits, yo. Cause man, I'm looking at all these videos right here.
He said, well, it's like a, and jerk, I felt like a jerk, and the cardinal's sitting there, and he's like turning white, and I thought, oh God, somebody save me, you know, and finally, this big soprano woman in the choir just, everybody laughed, and it was fun from there on, but I'm careful about that. But anyway, I was born in Welch, West Virginia, in number 10 Pocahontas Coalfields.
Not banned, but shadow banned. Definitely got shadow banned off of YouTube. Bro, if you just type his name in, it'll send you to some ads for Gaia, and I know the Gaia network and all that shit, and it's like, oh, subscribe here to watch his videos, and it's like, wait a minute. But then when you type in, you got to be very specific. Like Puff just said, you're gonna have to type in coast to coast interview or a certain interview. You're not just gonna type his name and his stuff come up. That's shadow banning, because he has tons of videos. Like I literally just looked at a list. I scrolled one time. There's like at least 15, 16 videos that should be on YouTube. But without typing in the specific one, you're not gonna get nothing. So this one I typed in David Adair at Area 51, and it says this is something expo. Wait a minute, let me scroll down and read the caption. NASCAR to Nevada and Area 51. 2 years ago, Adair shares his story from humble beginnings of building NASCAR racing engines in Florida, rockets in his backyard workshop, and cow pasture in West Virginia, launching fusion engine prototype rockets in New Mexico, and inspecting extraterrestrial spacecraft underground in Area 51, Nevada, all before he graduated from high school. What? What? Well, hmm.
My dad was a illiterate coal miner, and my mother taught him to read and write. And boy, did she unleash a monster there, because he went into mechanics, auto mechanics. He's gifted at it. And his auto mechanics was so good. I was kind of fortunate. My mother's parent, my grandfather, were some of you conspiracy people love this. He was a 33rd level knighted Mason. So I'm from that house. And he was the district foreman. He was the manager of all the coal fields. So it's like a governor. And And he didn't want his grandchildren being fatherless, so he pulled my dad out of the coal mines and got him a garage, and he started it, and man, it took off crazy. Business really went crazy and did really well. But I remember at 3 o'clock in the morning, my parents nailing blankets over the windows at night, and these cars would pull in, and it was Dad's best customer. They all paid cash, and they had 200-gallon tanks in the trunk, and it's not gasoline. They're moon runners. Dad would tune up a 392 Chrysler Hemi engine and get that thing to it's a Mopar missile, and they would take off. And the reason they don't see the lights, revenuers are looking for garages, trying to find these high-powered cars so they can catch the bootleggers. Well, why is that important? These bootleggers were people like Buddy Baker and Fred Lorenzen. These are all NASCAR champion drivers. That's why NASCAR got started. They were bootleg drivers. And they drive after revenuers. I'm not making this up. It's history. So, anyway, that's really important because Dad was working in the garage and it was morning time, and a man pulled in, his car broke down, and it's a very complicated carburetor called a Spicer. It had a water jacket around it. They don't have anything like that today. It takes about a half a day or a day to change it. Dad did it in 30 minutes. And the man was watching how fast my dad was, and he goes, you always work this fast? And he goes, yeah, when I can see what I'm doing. And he didn't get the joke. So he said, well, I'm coming from Detroit. I'm on my way to Daytona. I'd like to hire you as my mechanic. Dad said, yeah, you want me to work? Yeah, we're going to race on the beach down there. He goes, hi, my name is Lee Petty. That's the father of a guy named Richard Petty. And if you don't know who that is, look it up on the internet. Winner of 200 national NASCAR races awards. They call him King Richard. I grew up in this world. The first thing I built that was really, I thought was significant, was I was 12 years old and I built this 426 Chrysler Hemi engine from the block up. And people wonder, how does a guy in science and computer stuff, how do you get arms like that? And I said, well, that's because honed in big blocks. And they said, God, the Honda weighed more than I did. But when I got through with that engine, it turned on the dynamometer. We had 900 horsepower engine. So we dropped that in, and Richard won a Grand National. And so my dad's going, wow, my son built the Grand National winning engine. And Lee and Richard came over to Dad and told him, Fred, we can't say anything about that. Why? There's a man over there named Bill France, chairman of NASCAR. He's going to hang us from the tree over here because that's a 12-year-old. This is child labor laws, NASCAR laws, all kinds of things. And so they said, okay, David, I don't care. I'm not going to say anything. So Richard's looking at me. He goes, well, I feel bad about this. Anything we do for you? I went, yeah, actually you could. Can I have the keys to the shop? And they said, sure. Is there any materials you need? You never thought of this, I bet, but a NASCAR shop and a NASA rocket shop are the same shops because both shops deliver one product, speed. We have the same tools, the same machines, the same fuels because we ran dragsters, metro, nitro, liquid oxygen. So it was all there, all the equipment, all the materials, and I know how to use it. So first thing they said, what are you going to do? I'd like to build some things. Just a kid, build whatever you want. If you can't find it, order it. We'll get it for you. So the first thing I built was a nearly 9-foot rocket, higher than the ceiling. And it's a cryogenic pumper. What that means is I'm working with 325 degrees below zero. That's the fuels. That's how cold they are. Special handling equipment, all that stuff involved. But I got the thing built, and it's sitting out there. I got it out to the backyard, and my friends are looking at it, standing right next to it. And, it's a guy that's going to retire. I don't think so. He was running for vice president because before we were going to ship it out, and I had a fireplace, and the light was shining off the hull of it. This thing was so amazing looking. anyway, back to that big ICBM. I told General May it's not going to work. Look at the numbers. And he goes, what's going to happen? And I take this styrofoam cup and I go, pow! That's what's going to happen to your rocket when this engine goes off. Let me ask it another way. What goes through, General, a mosquito's mind when it hits the windshield 80 miles an hour? His butt. So, the General actually, cigar fell out of his mouth. That's what's going to happen when this engine turns on. It's going to rip clear through your rocket because the acceleration curve on this thing, I can't even get a calculator to go that high. And he said, what are we going to do? We're going to lay the engine down and build a rocket around it. And that's exactly what we did. Now, I remember I was on Art Bell and I was describing this, and the material I used on this rocket, I don't know where it came from. It came from England, but the origin of the metal is unknown. There was enough of it to build a rocket. There was tons of it. And it's got a really cool name. It's carbonite. And the minute I said that, all the experts that's listening to Art Bell wrote in, oh, that's what Han Solo was frozen in, carbonite. Yeah, this guy's a liar. C-A-R-B-O-N-I-T-E, carbonite. That's Han Solo. Mine is C-A-R-B-N-I-T-E, carbonite. It is so hard. You ever saw molten metal poured into these big vats? Well, those vats are made out of a material called Inconel. This stuff is about 10,000 times stronger than Inconel. And we don't know where it came from. But there's just enough where we can build a body around this rocket. And here's the craziest part. When it's all completely finished, the surface cohesion tension of this material looks like water wet. It's that shiny. So Pitham was laying there, and it was stretched out down through the room, and this fireplace was shining off of it, and I was laying on the bed looking at it and thinking, God, I can't believe I built this thing. It took us 26 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, and it's completed. So what does my beautiful rocket goes into? It goes into a semi that has Piggly Wiggly painted on the side of it. You gotta love the Air Force. We went from Mount Liberty, Ohio to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and we pulled up, and there's a C-141 Starlifter. You ever see that thing? Huge jet. 4 engines, big cargo bay. I mean, you drive Army tanks in it. And there's a ring of guards all the way around it with all these weapons and stuff. And I was afraid to walk up to the guards. And LeMay said, son, they belong to you. They're protecting you in your rocket. It's okay to walk through. I said, really? Wow. So we load the rocket on and we take off and we go to New Mexico to White Sands Missile Proving Grounds. It's not called it anymore, but back then it was. So anyway, we get to test sites, we get everything set up, and Colonel Williams with me the whole way, and I'm looking at it, we're getting it prepped for the next morning, and somebody said, Colonel, we better look at what's coming in, and it's black DC-9 coming into the runway. And I went, wow, where's the white bunny head? Back in that time, Hugh Hefner had a black DC-9 jet that had a white bunny head on it. So I looked at Colonel Williams, he's smiling. He's just like really concerned. Thing pulls up, door comes down, out comes all these guys, swear to God, black suits, mirror, sunglasses. And then this one little guy with gray hair and khaki shorts. I thought, well, he's the only one dressed for this place. He's behind him, he comes out, but I recognize him because Von Braun, that's another story, I just can't go, it's so long. Von Braun showed me a picture of him. He said, if he ever shows up, David, you are in such trouble. And it's Arthur Rudolph.
I don't know. This guy is telling a very, very elaborate story with a lot of name drops and a lot of this and that. But I don't know, I can't make it to the end. He's just, I don't know. It sounds like he wanted to be an author, a science fiction writer. Alright, I'm about to take a little break and go eat some breakfast. some of this shit off and let it charge up. Can't believe I didn't have the tablet on the charger the whole time. And it's starting to get warm up here. The next time I come back, I'm gonna have to turn the AC on. The sun's coming out. Might be a little nice day. Yeah, I'm hungry now, bro. Yo, appreciate y'all chilling in the stream with me this morning. Even old boy, whatever his name was. Yo, still early in the day, man. More than likely, I'll be back up here later on. I'll get with y'all next time, yo. Peace.